I gave his brother every trust. He used it to turn my fiancé against me. My phone buzzed at midnight, jolting me out of a restless half-sleep. On the screen, Ryan Dawson, Alex's older brother. My heart plummeted. "Emma, you need to hear this," he whispered, voice tremulous beneath the line's static. "I'm Emma Carter, 27, a graphic designer who learned the hard way that trust can shatter in an instant. 2 months ago, Alex Dawson, 29, a civil engineer whose steady hands build bridges by day and a sense of safety by night, slipped a ring on my finger and promised me forever. I believed him. I still do. But right then, his brother's panic edged into that faith like an unwelcome chill. "I'm so sorry to wake you," Ryan continued, words catching like tears. "But Alex found your journal, private entries from years ago. He's reading them now." My breath hitched. That journal held my darkest confessions, fears I voiced only to Alex during one late-night conversation after my last relationship fell apart. I never imagined another soul would glimpse those pages. A rush of heat flushed my cheeks as I peered into darkness, heart hammering. "What did he find?" I managed. Ryan hesitated. "You said you almost walked away, that you regretted moving here after everything you'd been through. He thinks you still have doubts." I sank against the headboard, sheets twisting around me. Doubts? Of my love for Alex? I shook my head. "Those were old fears, from before we even met." He exhaled. "He asked me to confirm? I told him you've never stopped loving him. But he wanted proof." His voice broke. "So I found the pages tucked under his nightstand." I closed my eyes, picturing Alex's apartment, the engraved wood of his dresser, the small gap beneath where my journal hid. Betrayal barked loud in my chest. "I wish I'd never read them," Ryan said, shame coloring every word. "He's hurt, Emma. He loves you. But he's scared." Silence pressed in around me as I stared at the pale glow of my phone. Outside, the city was quiet. Inside, trust splintered. I began, voice raw. "Thank you for telling me. But he shouldn't have read them alone. We need to talk together." He swallowed. "I'll be there tomorrow morning. He wants to hear it from both of us." I nodded, though he couldn't see. "Okay." He hung up, leaving the night deafeningly empty. I sat in the dark, breathing shallow breaths. The journal lay on my desk, locked away in a drawer I thought safe. Now every private line would be dragged into the open. Morning broke with merciless clarity. I brewed coffee with trembling hands. My studio apartment, walls lined with colorful prints and half-finished layouts, felt suddenly exposed, like someone peered in and redrew my most intimate fears across every canvas. At 8, Alex arrived home early, tie loosened, smile bright. He took one look at me, coffee cup cradled between my shaking palms, and his smile faltered. Concern flickered in his eyes. "Ryan called?" he asked, voice gentle as he crossed the living room. I nodded, heart pounding so hard I felt it in my throat. "He said you found my journal?" His face drained of color. He sank onto the sofa, running a hand through his hair. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Where did you find it?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "In a box under my bed," he admitted. "I saw the cover and I was curious. I opened it." I closed my eyes, fighting back tears. "Alex, that was private. Those pages weren't about us. It was baggage I dealt with before I met you." He exhaled, gaze falling to the floor. "I know. When I saw your handwriting, my heart stopped. I thought maybe you never moved past that pain." I knelt beside him, fingertips brushing his arm. "That pain is gone. It's part of my past. But I never stopped loving you." He looked up, eyes haunted. "Then why is this note here?" He held out a folded slip of paper, my handwriting scrawled across it. "Confess tonight you never loved him, or he'll leave." A lump rose in my throat. "I didn't write that." He glanced at me, uncertainty etched on his face. "Someone did." I swallowed, nails digging into my palm. Tomorrow, Ryan would arrive, photo album in hand, memories to manipulate. I had to stand beside Alex, to protect what we built. But with my secrets turned into weapons, I wasn't sure how many times love could survive such blows. And in the quiet of that fragile morning, I realized, the betrayal wasn't just the pages Ryan read, it was how easily a brother's trust could become the blade that cut us both. I remember the rush of pine-scented air at Pine Lake, where Alex, Ryan, and I spent endless summers. Alex would skim stones while Ryan dared us to build higher sandcastles. I sketched our laughter in the margins of my notebook, believing those moments would last forever. Now, Ryan stood unannounced in our living room, rain dripping from his collar. He carried an old photo album, its spine cracked, pages yellowed. He set it on the coffee table and opened it to a snapshot of the three of us at 15, arms slung over each other's shoulders, grins wide. "I found this," he said softly. He flipped to another, Alex and me at my college graduation, Ryan standing proud behind us. These were memories I thought tucked safely away. Yet here they were, proof that he knew what I expected to be private. I sank onto the edge of the sofa. "Ryan, what's going on?" He closed the album. "I came because I had to see you, and him." His gaze flicked to the hallway where Alex's office lights still glowed. "I need to talk about what I told you last night." I frowned. He'd revealed that Alex discovered my private journal entries, those confessions I never meant him to read. I thought the wound had been closed when we talked it through, but Ryan's tone told me otherwise. Over coffee, he recounted how Alex had confronted him. "Your pages were everywhere," Alex had said. "I found them in my sock drawer, my desk. I didn't know what to believe." Ryan paused, swirling his mug. "He asked me to confirm whether you still love him." My heart clenched. "And you?" He rubbed his forehead. "I thought I was helping. I told him everything I remembered you saying when you were hurting." His voice cracked. "But now he's convinced there's more you won't share." I pressed my lips together. "You had my journal?" Ryan nodded, eyes downcast. "I took it from your studio bag when you weren't looking. I kept it last night to show you, not to use against you. I'm sorry." A bitter ache spread through me. My sanctuary, my sketches, my words, had been laid bare by someone I trusted more than anyone. I closed my eyes, recalling Ryan's laughter as he and Alex chased me across that sunlit dock. How did we become strangers wielding secrets as weapons? I turned to him. "Why are you here now?" He met my gaze. "Alex is coming home early. He wants us all to talk together. He's confused, Emma. He doesn't know what to believe." He took a shaky breath. "I brought the album to remind us of who we were, hoping it could anchor the truth." I rubbed my temples, mind spinning. "And the journal pages?" Ryan sank back. "I put them in my bag. I wanted to give them to you, so you could choose what to show Alex." He hesitated. "But then I thought you should see him first, together." I stared at the album's cover, our faces smiling back at me, unburdened and fearless. "You should have asked," I said quietly. "I would have trusted you to handle it sensitively." He bowed his head. "I know. I messed up." A soft creak came from the hallway. I stiffened as Alex's footsteps approached. The moment of reckoning had arrived. Ryan closed the album gently. "He'll be here any second." His eyes gleamed with regret and hope. "Will you stand with me? With both of us?" I clenched my jaw. My future hinged on whether Alex could see beyond the torn pages and remember the woman who sketched rainbows in his darkest days. The door clicked open. Alex entered, coat in hand, face pale but determined. I rose, heart pounding. Between us lay a tangle of memories and fears. In my hand I gripped the photo album, the tether to our past and the key to our future. And in that fragile silence, I realized we would all decide together whether love could survive the truth revealed and the trust that had been broken. The morning light felt brittle as I crossed the studio's threshold. Sketches pinned to the corkboard quivered in the draft. My designs for a gallery exhibit, once a source of joy, now felt invasive. Every stroke of ink reminded me of secrets that could be weaponized. Alex joined me, tension taut in his shoulders. He held a folded paper. The note slipped beneath my door last night. Either confess you never loved him, or lose him. His voice trembled. Emma, we need to talk about Ryan's request. He asked me to vouch for a $7,000 loan. Between brothers. He said it's urgent. I exhaled, swallowing the lump in my throat. Did he mention collateral? Alex frowned. Just a promise. No paperwork. He said we should trust each other. He offered me coffee. I shook my head. That's not how trust works. He ran a hand through his hair. I defended him. I put our savings on the line. His eyes flicked to the journal locked in my desk. But then this note appeared. He crumpled it in his fist. I don't know what's real anymore. I pressed a hand to his arm. We'll sort this together. A shadow in the studio. After Alex left for work, I returned to my drafting table. My computer displayed a message. Your files have been accessed from a new device. A quick search through activity logs revealed an unfamiliar IP. Someone had been copying my private sketches and notes, my creative process, my innermost reflections. My pulse hammered. I clicked through recent designs, mood boards, personal logo concepts, even doodles of us beneath pine trees. Every file copied. Whoever did this wasn't looking for art. They were hunting for ammunition. I buried my face in my hands. Ryan's promise to help had morphed into espionage. Confrontation in the park. I laced up my sneakers and sprinted to the nearby park where we used to picnic. Late morning sun filtered through oak leaves as I spotted Ryan on a bench, album open on his lap, eyes flicking from page to page. I approached, voice low but firm. Why are you taking my life apart? He met my glare, guilt etched on his face. I'm not trying to break us, I swear. He snapped the album shut. But Alex needed proof. He was hurt and scared. I knelt beside the bench. Proof of what? My past doubts? My sketches are my work. They're not evidence of betrayal. He closed his eyes. I took them because he asked. He thought you were hiding more from him. Plans, thoughts about leaving. His voice cracked. He said you mentioned moving abroad, that you weren't fully in this. I shook my head. I talked about change in hypothetical terms, never about leaving him. Those were casual drawings, not confessions. He looked away, pulling a small notebook from his pocket. Alex's childhood diary with scribbled margins about our engagement. He gave this to me too, Ryan said. He thought it would show your intentions. My heart clenched. Pages of adolescent dreams scanned as proof of betrayal. You stole his diary. I whispered. I borrowed it. He corrected, voice hollow. He wanted answers. The hurt arrives. At that moment, a figure appeared under the canopy of oaks. Alex, face drawn, hand clutching a stack of sketches I'd left on my doorstep. His eyes searched ours, confusion and hurt shining like splinters. He dropped the sketches onto the grass. Emma. His voice wavered. These are mine, your art, our memories. Why are they here? I rose slowly, chest aching. Ryan took them. I said, voice firm. He thought you needed proof that I was hiding something. Alex stared at his brother. You betrayed me? His voice was soft, but every word cut deep. Ryan bowed his head. I thought I was protecting him. Alex turned to me, eyes rimmed red. Did you ever consider leaving me? His question trembled between us. I reached for his hand, heart raw. I never wanted to leave you. I whispered. I shared my fears so we could face them together, not to turn into threats. He cupped my cheek, eyes searching for truth. Then show me. A moment of choice. I stepped forward, gathering the scattered sketches. Each one a fragment of our life, us laughing in rain, planning our wedding, quiet moments of solace. I held them out. These are proof of my love, I said. Every line, every color, meant for you. Alex took the sketches, eyes softening as he recognized each scene. He hugged me tightly. "I'm sorry I read your journal," he murmured. "I should have trusted you." Ryan stood apart, shame and relief wrestling on his face. "I wanted to help," he whispered. Alex squared his shoulders. "Next time, you talk to me first." He looked at his brother. "Not at my expense." In that golden afternoon light, Emma, exhaled the tension that knotted her chest. Trust, she realized, was not given once but built, with honesty, compassion, and the courage to face doubt together. But as we walked home, Ryan trailing behind, I knew the hardest tests often came not from strangers but from the ones we hold closest. I couldn't sleep after the park showdown. The memory files in my studio screamed betrayal. My private sketches, journal snippets, even color notes, for our wedding invites had been harvested without my knowledge. I needed proof of Ryan's actions before Alex's trust shattered completely. At first light, I slipped into the studio under the guise of finishing a deadline. I opened my laptop and traced every access point, unfamiliar device IDs, timestamps when I was away at client meetings. One IP address led back to Ryan's company network. My chest tightened. He'd used his office login to mine my files. I printed the activity logs and packed them in a folder, then grabbed my DSLR bag and headed to the old marketing agency building where Ryan worked. The elevator smelled of stale coffee as I ascended to the 12th floor. My palms throbbed against the folder's crisp edge. I found him in a glass-walled office, thumbing through our engagement photos. He jumped when I knocked. "Emma? What are you?" I stepped inside, setting the folder on his desk. "You've been in my studio," I said quietly. "Accessing my files, stealing private work." His face paled. He closed his laptop. Emma, I didn't want to hurt you. I was trying to help Alex, to give him answers." I slid the logs across. "Using your network gives me proof. You've copied everything. Sketches of our life together, personal notes, even my mood boards." My voice cracked. "How could you?" Ryan rubbed his forehead, eyes haunted. He was so hurt. "He thought you meant what you wrote. You wrote that you almost left him." He looked at the logs. "I never meant to surveil you indefinitely. I thought I'd find just those pages. But you took more." I pressed. "You've been building a dossier." I pulled out my phone and scrolled through sent emails. Dozens of images and PDFs marked private for Ryan. "Why? What do you hope to gain?" He swallowed, gaze flickering to the photo album on a nearby shelf. It held our childhood memories, binding, fragile. "I thought if I collected every piece, your doubts, your fears, Alex would see your love clearly. That I could patch a broken trust by assembling the whole picture." I felt tears sting. "You broke our trust in the process." I tapped his desk. "And you're not just keeping this from Alex, you've turned my life into evidence." Before he could respond, a rustle came from the doorway. We both looked up to see Alex standing there, holding my sketches, watercolor scenes of us by that lakeside dock. His face was a mixture of confusion and betrayal. "Emma?" he said, stepping in. He glanced at Ryan, then the folder on the desk. "What's happening?" Ryan opened his mouth, but I held up a hand. "Let me show you." I handed Alex the folder of activity logs and copies of everything I'd found. "Your brother's been copying my private files, reading my work as though it were proof against me." Alex flipped through the logs, eyes widening. "Ryan," he began. Ryan's shoulders slumped. "I'm sorry," he said, voice small. "I thought I was helping." Alex looked between us, hurt etched in every line of his face. He closed the folder and turned to me. "Emma, did you?" I hurried to him, pressing my work back into his hands. "I never hid anything from you. These pages were from a time before us, and I talked through every fear with you." Ryan took them out of context. He ran a hand through his hair, eyes glistening. "I should have asked you first." He faced his brother. "Why didn't you come to me directly?" Ryan hung his head. "I was scared, Alex. You seemed so lost. I didn't know what else to do." Alex exhaled, tension uncoiling. He reached for my hand. I'm sorry I doubted you. He turned back to Ryan. We need to rebuild trust, together, not through files and stolen pages. Ryan nodded, tears in his eyes. I'll do whatever it takes. In that office's stark fluorescent light, we stood amid scattered sketches and printed logs, 3 people exposed by fear and love. The path forward was uncertain, but for the first time that day, I felt a sliver of hope. And as we left the building, together, each step rang with the promise to rebuild what had been broken, brick by honest brick. The night of our engagement party, the banquet hall buzzed with congratulations and clinking glasses. Fairy lights twinkled overhead, casting a warm glow on friends and family, until Ryan stepped onto the small stage, holding a stack of papers in one hand and my private journal in the other. He cleared his throat. I'd like to share something before we celebrate, he announced, voice too smooth. He tapped the journal. These pages reveal Emma's true feelings, thoughts she never shared with Alex. A hush fell. I felt every eye turned toward me. Alex's face strained of color. Ryan flipped open the journal and read aloud. I'm so scared I'll lose him. Gasps rippled through the crowd. He held up my sketches. And these designs? Notes about moving abroad. Plans she never told you. Alex's fist clenched. I stepped forward. Stop, I said, voice shaking but clear. You're twisting my words. Ryan smiled, as if winning. Am I? Or am I showing you who she really is? Alex turned to me, doubt in his eyes. I felt the world narrow to that single moment. Then I pressed play on my phone. Ryan's voice crackled. He won't believe you unless he sees proof. I made sure he did. And another. I took her sketches to reveal her plans. It's for his own good. Silence crashed down. Faces went pale. Ryan's confident facade crumbled. Alex closed his eyes, grief and relief warring in his expression. He handed the journal back. Emma, he whispered, voice raw. I should have trusted you. Ryan's jaw dropped. He stuttered. It was for you. Alex stepped between us. No. It was against her. He looked around the stunned guests. This isn't how we celebrate love. Ryan's eyes burned with anger and shame. He swallowed, then warned in a low voice. You'll never see her the same. Alex drew me into his arms. I'll always see her first. As guests began to murmur their support, I realized the only proof that mattered was the truth we'd just shared, and the love we refused to surrender. I woke to sunlight spilling across our bedroom floor, the morning calm almost surreal after everything we'd been through. Alex lay beside me, arm draped around my waist, breathing steady and warm against my back. I closed my eyes and let relief wash over me, relief that we'd survived Ryan's betrayal and that our love had endured the fiercest test of all. Over the next few days, life settled into a new rhythm. Our engagement celebration had ended in chaos, but out of that wreckage we found a clearer path forward. Fallout. Alex and I met with a family mediator, guiding Ryan through the consequences of his actions. He faced professional repercussions, his company revoked his network access, and he quietly resigned rather than face a public scandal. In private, he apologized to both of us, tears in his eyes as he acknowledged the pain he caused. We sold our loft's spare room, no more hiding private sketches or secret journals behind locked doors. The buyer was a sweet young couple, eager to make it their first home together. Watching them sign the papers, Alex squeezed my hand and whispered, Our trust doesn't fit behind walls anymore. Rebuilding trust. To guard against future breaches, Alex and I began weekly honesty sessions. Every Sunday evening, we'd sit at our kitchen table, no phones, no distractions, and share our thoughts openly. If either one of us felt a flicker of doubt or a pang of anxiety, we voiced it immediately. We also created a shared digital folder, our safe haven, with red/write permissions for both of us only, where we stored wedding plans, personal reflections, and studio files. I noticed how each session healed small cracks, a lingering insecurity from my past, Alex's residual hurt from the journal incident, even hidden fears about our upcoming move. We didn't just talk, we listened. I learned that Alex had been too ashamed to admit he'd snooped, and he learned how old wounds still lingered in my art. By the time we closed our notebooks, our bond felt welded stronger than before. Personal growth. Channeling my experience into creativity, I launched an art series called Trust Lines. On acrylic panels, I painted broken geometric forms stitched together by golden seams, an homage to the Japanese art of kintsugi, when broken pottery is mended with gold lacquer. Each piece represented a moment in our story: the midnight call, the park confrontation, the engagement party revelation, and finally the renewal. At the opening exhibit, friends and clients nodded knowingly at the glimmering cracks. I realized that vulnerability can become art, and art can become a bridge between hearts. Alex, ever the problem solver, began volunteering with a youth conflict resolution program. He taught high schoolers how to express their frustrations without tearing each other down, skills he'd learned firsthand from our own ordeal. Watching him guide a group through a difficult mediation session, I felt proud that our story could help others navigate their own disagreements. Reflective takeaway. We discovered that love isn't a static promise but a living practice, showing up, speaking truth even when it hurts, and rebuilding boundaries together. Secrets, once exposed, lose their power. What matters is what you do next. We chose to transform betrayal into deeper intimacy. Final beat. One crisp autumn morning, Alex and I drove out to the woodland clearing where we'd first confessed our fears beneath towering oaks. We carried a small metal box filled with the torn journal pages, the stolen sketches, and that crumpled blackmail note. Standing amid golden leaves drifting like confetti, we dug a shallow hole together and laid the box inside. I pressed the earth over it, feeling the weight lift from my chest. Alex wrapped his arms around me as the forest hummed around us. No more ghosts of doubt, only the promise of what we'd build from here onward. Hand in hand, we walked back toward our future, ready to sketch new memories on a canvas unmarked by betrayal, with every broken piece now gleaming in the sunlight of our renewed trust.